Hey, and we're live. I always have to wait to see if it's that awkward moment. But hello, everybody. Happy Monday. And if you already have started your break for the week and you did not have to go into school today or wherever you work today, we're jealous. I'm jealous because I still had to go today and we have school tomorrow too. I actually forgot about it over the weekend because everybody was talking about plans for the holidays and putting up Christmas decorations and holiday decorations. And I thought, oh, yeah, I should probably start doing that. I went, wait, no, I think I have to go somewhere on Monday and Tuesday. So anyway, I did. And it went fast. So we're back. It's Monday. I'm here with an awesome friend who I'm so thankful for, Lainie. And so, Lainie, let everybody know who you are and where you are joining from.
Okay, I'm Lainie Rowell, and I am coming to you from Huntington Beach, California today. And I am an educator in my 25th year of education. Is the Botox working? Is that hard to believe? But at any rate, yep, educator, author, podcaster, and I normally travel around the world as a consultant. Lately, it's been more zooming in, but I'm very excited to be here with one of my dearest friends, Rachelle. I'm still tempted to say Rachel.
I know. Yeah. Rachel and Renee and any of those things. So 25th year. I didn't think I think I knew that, but I'm right up there with you. So but I'm Rachelle, sometimes called Rachel, sometimes called Renee because of Twitter, but I do a lot of different things in education as well. And honestly, one of my favorite things to do is what we're doing right now is having these live shows with guests and have some fun, just a break for educators or anybody to join in. So if you are watching us now live, put in your comments, ask questions, play our game with us that we're going to have coming up later with Lainie and our special guest. And we'd love to hear from you. So without further delay, I could say adieu. We'll bring up our guest today, Allyson. Hey. So welcome, Allyson. And we just figured this out. I did not know, but I had a chance. Well, I knew this part. I don't want to say like, I didn't know. I have like pictures with you. It just came up on Facebook not that long ago, but it's been 2 years, but got to meet you in person at the Teach Better first. I think it was their first one in Ohio. So I did knew you in person, but I knew you online ahead of time. But I did not know that this is the first time for you and Lainie to meet each other.
Yeah, so exciting. I'm so happy to be here with you.
I'm so happy to finally, I know we're connected on social media, but now I have an actual interaction with you. Super excited. Hopefully someday in person as well. So
right. Yes, I'd love to come out to California. Huntington Beach sounds fantastic. We have snow on the ground here.
Yeah. And you're in Michigan?
I am. Yes. I'm up at my cabin. We don't have reception at my cabin. So I had to go to the clubhouse. And so I'm in a public spot right now, but I'm in a room by myself. So northern Michigan right now.
Nice. And how's the weather?
It's cold. It was like 27 today and there's snow on the ground.
Oh, yeah. It was in Pittsburgh. It was, I think, close to 40. Very deceptive because you look outside and you see the sun. You're like, oh, it's great. Then you go outside and it's like 15-mile-an-hour winds. But I went for a walk. I'm fine if it gets I've gone in the 20s and everybody's like, I can't believe you walked outside. I said, well, if it's sunny and if you're inside all day in a mask, while there's not like 4 feet of snow on the ground and negative temperatures, why not go outside? So
absolutely. I get outside almost every day. And some days I'm falling because it's so icy out, but it's worth it to me to take the risk.
I know you have to, because like there'll be plenty of days where we are like, you can't go outside for whatever reason. More so probably in Michigan and definitely less where Lainie is. And I don't know about Pittsburgh.
I know you're making me feel really guilty because it's 80 degrees here. And yesterday I did not leave my house. And I walked into the dining room and I said to my husband, I'm like, is it a warm day? And he's like, you haven't left the house. You don't know. And so I feel a little bit like I'm taking my weather for granted. Sorry.
Baby.
My kids are outside.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And do you feel like when the air conditioning's on, you're like, it's freezing. Meanwhile, it's like 70 and it's cold. And then you come to Pittsburgh and you're like, it's -7 or Michigan.
Yeah. And my mom lives in Hawaii. So when she'll come here for Christmas and it's 72 degrees outside, she will complain and she'll say how cold it is. And then I'll say it's it's in the 70s, and she'll say, it's a different 70s in Hawaii. Anyway, so it's all relative, right?
Oh my God. It is. And yeah, no pun intended on the relative either there, right?
I'm not that clever.
You don't kid yourself. You are quite clever, but
We'll see when the
anyway.
game comes up later.
I know. I cannot wait. I seriously cannot wait because the pressure is on me to come up with the movies, but the pressure is off of me trying to compete last week with Katie when like she just was bringing it. And I'm like, I felt like the time Melody was giving us acronyms and we had to come up with something that it wasn't the actual acronym and she was giving me negative points. And I'm like, I don't stand a chance at this. She's like -5. That was terrible. I'm like, okay. But anyway, before we pass by with talking about so much, Allyson, let everybody know. Like, I know like you do a lot of things. You do a lot of writing, you do blogging, and I have some links to your blogs and things I'll drop into the conversation. But I have to hold up the one of your books that I have here. It's just like one of the books. What are you emphasizing the one, Lainie?
Because I'm working on my second one, but I
No.
surround myself with amazing people who have written multiple books. And so it's a little intimidating when you're the one who like, yeah, I've got the one.
Oh, come on.
Lainie, what I could do next time is I have 2 copies of your book, so I could say I'm holding up one of your books.
You like the book that much? I will tell Christine.
I do. Well, I bought one and then I joined in your webinar that time and they sent me another one. And so I was going to give it to somebody because it's such a great book. So speaking of great books, this one, if for anybody who's watching, if you have not ever picked this book up, you need to pick this book up. Just gonna put that out there and check out Allyson's blogs. But back to Allyson, would you tell us about your everyday experience as a school administrator, as a school principal now, before anything that you want to share with us?
Yeah, I know. I was counting my years. So this is my 19th year as a principal, and I've been a principal of all the levels. And it's an interesting journey because I was a secondary principal first, and now I'm an elementary principal. And usually it happens in the opposite direction, but I love them all. And when I was looking for a new position, I didn't care what level it was because each level, is unique and special. And I just love that elementary kids. I can't even walk down the hall without peeling them off me. And that's been kind of hard in COVID. They are running up, hugging, so excited to see you. With high school kids, it doesn't happen in that same way. You had to work for their affection, but there's a beauty in that also. So 19th year as a principal, and I taught only for 5 years before that. So I'm right there with you about my 24th year or so in education. And I love it. It's been unique the past few years with the challenges that the pandemic has brought us and in the divisiveness and in our communities. But I'm so thankful to work in Zeeland Public Schools and have my Quincy Elementary position. So I also love working with my state organization. So I'm the professional learning chair for the Michigan Elementary and Middle School Principals Association. And I don't know what else. Oh, I'm an educator wellness coach and leadership coach. And and then I also love to write, and I'm a mom and a wife. And just people say, how do you fit in writing? I'm writing my 5th book right now. And it's just prioritizing, right? When I get up in the morning and I sneak in a few hours before everybody else gets up, rather than watching HGTV, I'm writing, right? Whether it's a blog or on the book. So, and then I also love traveling the country, not the world like Lainie, but just the country to connect with educators and learn and grow together.
So I'm just going to speak for myself, and Allyson, maybe you would agree with this, and I think Rachelle would too, but I hear you talking about writing is almost wellness for yourself. It's almost a wellness practice. Is that fair to say? Because for me,
absolutely.
That's how I process. That's how I reflect. I need that time. And it's not something I was very good at pre-COVID. So it's actually something I've been much better about, as using that as a way to just kind of it sounds funny, but that's like, it's relaxing to me in a way. It's cathartic. I enjoy it. And I did not previously. It took a long time to get to this point, but I do now. I love it.
I 100% agree that it is like that period of reflection and growth and just being open. Like if I put something out to the world, like I wrote the book, The Path to Serendipity. And then I thought, oh my gosh, what if my life implodes? Like I get arrested and like sent to jail and like I'm the serendipity lady. Like, like I'm almost like challenging the universe. Like, yeah, it hasn't happened yet. And, you know, we're 4 or 5 years in, so I'm excited about that. But I do agree that it is a form of self-care and wellness for sure.
Yeah. I think so too. Well, one thing I want to go back to is like, I've heard that a lot. A lot of people say like, I get up early in the morning. That's my time to write. I remember a couple of years, well, the number of years it's a little sketchy right now because that pandemic year like that, it messes with my math a little bit because I'm like, it was 3 years. I'm like, no. But I think it was going to Summer Spark in Milwaukee when I was just starting to work on like writing the couple of books, which I just like to do them all at the same time. But I had a conversation with Tom Murray, like for some advice. And I said, you know, like, what do you suggest? Because I've never written, obviously, a book before. How do you write what you write? And I think I had just read his Learning Transform that he did with Eric Sheninger. And just like the quality of writing it. I mean, that's a different kind of book than what I was writing because it's like research based. They have all this, you know, information they're sharing. And he said, honestly, and it's similar to what you said too, Allyson. He's like, I get up in the morning before the kids are up and it's just my time. And I said, what time is it? It's like 4 a.m. I'm like, what is it with people in like 4 a.m.? Because I'm going to just say like Dr. Sarah Thomas gets up early and is very productive at 4 a.m. Like I'm lucky I can walk down the steps at 4 a.m. if I have to for any reason at all. But for me, when I was writing, and I had like really tight deadlines for all of those, but I was staying up late at night because I was going to school and coming home, doing the normal things in the house. And then I would sit down at like 8 or 9 at night. And I just got into that flow of writing. I do have some hacks to make it go faster, but next thing you know, it's like 1:32, 2:33, sometimes in the morning. And I'm like, I guess I should go to bed because I got to get up at 5:30. And I did that for probably a period of 4 weeks. But it's just, that's my moment. The 4 a.m. No. Now, if I'm getting on a plane to go somewhere and Lainie probably knows where, like 3 a.m., I'm fine. I'm totally awake 3 in the morning to go to the airport. But I guess the clarity that I have when I write, it comes later on in the day or when I'm walking, because I will walk and I will just open up a document in Google on my phone and I just talk into it. And then I come back and I try to fix like whatever the messed up words where I'm like, what did I say that sounded like steak and potatoes or something? I'm like, mistaken. And then I'm like, it's like a word game of my own, but it's hacks. Like they work for me. So everybody has their own kind of, I guess, workflow. And I'm going to pop this topic up on the screen because we kind of like went into this in a natural way. And it's balance and habits. So Allyson, you are naming all of these things that you do. It's not just a principal and an author and a parent. And like the list goes on and on. You have all of these other roles that you play in addition to writing your 5th book. And I know Lainie, same thing. Lainie's got all of these things and writing another book as well and pulling in stories. So I'll toss it back to you, Allyson. Like, how do you find balance, or what do you prioritize? Or are there things that you, I don't know, that you have set up? And the last thing I'll say, and I'm going to put on my listening lips like melody, is on Saturday morning, Tim Cavey, that does the Teachers on Fire podcast, had Mandy Freilich and Dr. Sarah Thomas on, and they were talking about a lot of these same issues about setting boundaries and balance and everything. It was a great episode. I should drop that in the comments too, but I am officially, this is Rachelle and I'm finished speaking, all just like Clubhouse.
And I think you hit the nail on the head with priorities. And that really shifted for me with the pandemic. Like I felt like pre-pandemic, I was on the hamster wheel of, and I'm an achiever. So I'm like going for the gusto, right? Like I don't want to just have one book. I want to have like 6, 7, 10 books by the time I'm 50. Like, and then the question becomes like, why? What are you trying to prove? What's your goal? Like, I also have a strong passion for making a difference in the world. And that's what I'm attempting to do with all of the work. And that's really important to me. But when we hit that brick wall of the pandemic and like travel was canceled, like everything was canceled, and I just had to stay home and focus on my family, I'm like, whoa, like I really like these people. Like I don't know why am I traveling so much and getting away so much? Like I have a full-time gig, like, and what do I want to invite back into my life once things start opening back up? So I'm really trying to make different decisions about how to like make it work where I can be with you and be at the cabin where we get no reception. And that's the place where my husband and my son really love to be. So just making those compromises. And the other key for me is wherever I am to be all there. So like I'm all here with the two of you. My son's he's actually maybe swimming. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing right now, but when I'm at Quincy, I am all in at Quincy. Like there's nothing else that exists really except taking care of my family at all times, of course. Or if I'm traveling and speaking, I'm all in. So I think that's a really important part of balance because I can't, like my brain doesn't work in divisions. It's like it has to be. I don't know if I could write 2 books at one time either. I mean, I barely can read 2 books at one time. So I'm really impressed with that.
The writer's block goes away. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Oh, really hard. I love how you talk about being like fully present. That's something that I think I will probably spend my whole life trying to get to, but it is something that's really important. I think I said this before, Rachelle, you might have heard me say this, that sometimes my kids hold me accountable because we talk about digital wellness a lot in our household. So when they see me doing things, they're like, that device needs to go away, Mom, be with us. And I'm like, okay. And you only hear that once and then you're like good for a long time because it's really soul crushing. So you're like, okay, device away. Let's talk. Let's cuddle. Let's do something.
Or you have special guests that pop over and there's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. But
speaking of babies, fur babies.
I know. But it's hard. Like and Stacy had said, it's a constant struggle. And that's what I hear from everybody. And somebody said to me, we had a conversation the other day at school, and they were saying like, well, how do you do so many things? And I said, but we all have different things. We all have different commitments on our time. And so somebody like, you can't come, oh my gosh, seriously, is he like on like the catwalk? He's just pacing back and forth.
We're with it. We're here for it.
I know, seriously, you can't, I mean, it's hard to not sometimes want to compare yourself to what somebody else is doing. And then you end up, and we could go down this whole thing, like it's the imposter syndrome. Like, am I really doing all the things that like I'm putting out there that I am doing? Or am I slacking? Or I see this person has put out like a blog and a podcast and they've written like 15 books, but you can't compare yourself to them because one, like you're no competition with anybody but yourself. That's an anonymous quote. I did not make it up. Even though sometimes that's like hard to follow, because I think that there's that healthy competition, even though it shouldn't be a competition, but it's that kind of like encouragement in a way where like, if Lainie says, look, Rachelle, I blog every week. If you want to blog, pick a day and blog every week. And then I'm like, okay, I'm like following after Lainie and I'm not competing with her, but I'm like using her as kind of like, like she's giving me the inspiration to go and do it. Not like, well, Lainie writes 1 blog a week. I'm going to write 1.5 blogs a week or anything like that, or 2 blogs, or I'm going to blog podcasts. But the base of the conversation that I had with this person, it's like one of my colleagues was like, I don't have kids. So I come home and I have like what seems to be all kinds of free time. I don't have to rush to different places and meetings. So I fill my time in other ways, which is why I invest so much in my students or in doing different things. So we all have those different demands, but even with all of those, we still all have to find balance and have good habits. And for me, my phone, I'm always on the phone. I'm always on the email. The best I can do is leave it in the kitchen to charge and forget about it, but then I'm on the computer. So yeah, I don't know. It's constantly something.
I'm curious. Speaking of the devices, like I have all notifications turned off on my phone with the exception of reminders. Do you ladies do that too? Or do you like notifications? I'm curious. Allyson, do you like having notifications on or do you have those things shut?
No, I want to like have it be my choice if I open up my email so I get notifications for Facebook messages and calendar items and just, texts. That's it. Everything else is turned off.
Yeah. Rachelle, are you with us on that or are you?
Yeah, I mean,
But you can also you handle it a different way, and there's no right way to do it. So you said you put your phone physically away, like you maybe want the notifications on, but you manage when you're having proximity to your device, right?
Yeah. There are some things like I've turned off Slack notifications for almost every. I mean, there are a couple groups that are very active, and so that I need to respond to. So those are on, but I have them set, quiet hours. And then things like Instagram, LinkedIn, I'll put those off. But because I check them at a certain point in the day, like for my lunch, I might sit down and check and see if I got any. Twitter, they just build up, and then I'll swipe them out or like retweet or read something throughout the day. But email, I'm answering. Tisha says, yes, no notifications except for text. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but everybody's different. Somebody said, oh, just take 2 days off of email. I would never come back from that. Never.
Oh, no. Never.
No, that would bury me, and I'd be in an avalanche of emails. No.
Yeah, there's no way. It's hard. I mean, some people can't do it, and they leave the device at home and go for a walk. I'm reading and listening to Weston and Molly Kieschnick's podcast when I'm walking, or Lainie and Bree's podcast if they have a new one that comes out. Or now, actually, instead of reading, I'm listening to like the audio part of it. Or I'm doing emails. But at least I'm getting outside and doing something good for me, and I'm not falling behind, which would totally stress me out. So it's interesting how we all have our, variations of doing those different things. So.
And I appreciate too what you were saying about like just different interests and priorities. Like I have one of my secretaries is a master gardener, and that's what she spends her time doing. That's a passion of hers. Like I'm lucky if I plant like one thing a season, and I'll kill it. So like that doesn't take up any of my time because I don't see plants in the same way other people do. So we're all into our own thing, and that's okay. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I had mentioned to you before we came on that I had just read, and I'll drop this in the comments too, a blog of yours about like healthy workloads. And I thought it had such great information. So I'm going to drop that in the comments because everybody should definitely read that. And in the balance and the habits, oh my gosh, seriously, I'm so sorry. Good thing when I do the podcast, nobody's going to see the mystery guest. Just saying. But the good habits too, I think, is like making time for something that's fun or relaxing. I've been trying to take a nap every single day, even if it's 20 minutes, just unwind, just a break in the day. Yeah. Or play a game or something.
Have you heard Dan Pink's suggestion for napping? He like went into this like intensive, I heard him on a podcast. He went into this intensive like study about productivity and time and all this. And what he would do is he would plan for a 20-minute nap, and he would take a drink drink an espresso right before he went into the nap. It takes about 7 minutes to get your bloodstream. If I remembering exactly the minutes. So by the time you go to wake up, it's hit your bloodstream and you just like pop right up, refreshed.
Wow.
And you feel like you have the best nap of your life.
Yeah,
oh.
I did read that.
I'm too sensitive, but yeah, I try it. If anyone wants to try it and report back, I'd love to hear how that works out.
All right, I'll give her a whirl this week, just for you, Lainie.
That sounds good. I did read that before. Yeah. So, okay. So speaking of like good habits and naps and fun things, it is that time. Well, I did have a better one, but then you brought the Dan Pink thing, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So, yeah, but it's time to play our game. And so, Lainie, I'm going to let you explain it really quick while I get the banners ready.
Okay. So it's called 5-second summaries. And basically, Allyson and I are going to take turns describing, and if you really want to, acting out. Katie Novak set the bar pretty high last week, so I don't know how much acting I will be doing, but we're basically going to try and explain a movie by the plot, no words from the title of the movie, no actors' names. I think I got that right. 5-second summaries, no title words, no actor names.
Can we pass if we don't know the movie?
I think that's a great rule because my pop culture knowledge is spotty. So
Yeah.
I think this
I
could be
don't-
real interesting.
I don't think there may be one here. I don't know. I think I did a pretty good job with picking. I have 19 different movie titles I put in here.
So Allyson, heads up, I only saw Princess Bride on the flight back from Florida like last week. So I'm just saying that's just to mentally prepare you for what you're about to be working with here.
Right.
I was the host last week, and it was really nice that I just got to put the movie up and not worry about this part.
Yeah. And you wrote them out. This time I was like, I'm just putting these all in here, and that way we can play again. But Lainie, I think in fairness, since you've done this before, you should be the one that has to act it out.
I knew that was coming.
Okay. So then, Allyson, I'm going to put it on the screen. So I'm just going to tell you to close your eyes real quick, and I'm going to let everybody see what it is. Yeah, do it now, and I'll tell you when to unclose your eyes. I mean, uncover, not unclose your eyes. Okay, Lainie, there's your movie.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Allyson. Here she goes.
Action. There's a ton of stunts. The actor actually likes to do his own stunts, hanging from ceilings, breaking into vaults. Oh my gosh, I've seen like one of these, but there's a series of them. It's like a
James
franchise.
Bond?
Close, but more current. And the actor is considered one of the best looking men of all time, and the actor was in Risky Business. I'm just totally going off the rails here. So Risky Business, he was in, oh my gosh. I'm
Tom Cruise. What was that movie? What's the
dun 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 dun. I'm not a singer.
You're gonna get there. When something is super, super difficult, it's almost
impossible. Mission Impossible. Yes. Good job. Oh yeah, I was not gonna get there without that help. Thank you.
No, it's okay. You should have seen me last week. Oh my gosh. So now we turn the tables, and it's your turn.
Okay.
So I'll have Lainie cover her eyes, and I'll show you and everybody at home. So Lainie, no peeking. Okay, Allyson, there's your movie to act out somehow without saying the name or the actors.
Okay.
All right, Lainie.
I'm good.
So,
yep.
So it's a Christmas themed movie.
Elf?
There are robbers break into the house with a boy. The boy is all by himself. Good job.
Very good. All right. Now, Lainie, your turn again. I can't wait for this one.
Oh, I'm so afraid now.
Okay. Wait, no, I'll change my mind on that one. Hang on. Okay. Here we go. Don't look, Allyson. There you go, Lainie.
Okay.
All right, Allyson, you can look.
Okay. John Hughes movie. All of these kids were so naughty. They had to Thank you.
That was record time. Breakfast Club.
That was pretty good.
Yep.
That was pretty good.
Okay, we'll do two more. So Lainie, cover your eyes. And Allyson, here comes yours. All right, Lainie, you can look.
You'll shoot your eye out.
Oh, A Christmas Story.
Yeah, I knew. Like I put that in. Yeah, Christmas Story.
Okay.
Okay, so one more.
We can rename this game 1 second summaries. We're that.
Yeah. 1 second summaries. Okay, Lainie. I gotta pick a good one for you. Okay, I got a good one. Okay, Allyson, don't look. Here it comes, Lainie.
Oh, you got it. Okay, fine.
All right, Allyson. You can look.
Our matey.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes!
Oh, she didn't have to even do. I was waiting for so many things. I was like, how's Lainie gonna do this? Oh my gosh. That's so funny. I tried to put some in there that were like 80s, 90s, 2000s, but that either you could act or they had some one-liners like "You'll shoot your eye out, kid," or "You're killing me, Smalls." That was the one I forgot. The Sandlot. I was gonna put in.
Oh yeah.
And I forgot.
I don't think I've seen that movie, so thank you.
I would not have known that one either, so thank you for
Yeah. Well, that one's not on the list. So at any rate, it's fun playing the games. So the last thing is anything else that you would like to share, for the listeners, like what's on your mind, advice for the week, any inspiration, either one of you before we end?
I want to hear from Allyson.
Okay, so the advice I find myself giving the teachers at my school, or like anybody who is dealing with inconveniences with COVID still, is that just recognizing the difference between inconveniences and those who are really suffering. Like if in 2 weeks we can kind of get back into normal, or we just have to push on, just keeping in mind that our health is the most important thing, and that all the other little things we can get through if we support each other. So just recognizing the differences there, I think, is going to be really important, especially as we move into the holiday season where we really want to be together. And in some cases, we're not going to be able to still, and that just really stinks. But cheers to next year. Or we'll get there.
We will. I'll add one little thing that I'm just super grateful for. And I know that there are people, and I hope this doesn't hurt anyone's feelings, because I know there are some people who aren't getting to be with their family, but it was this day last year that I found out I wouldn't get to see my dad for Thanksgiving. And I do get to see him this year. So I'm super,
yeah. That's wonderful.
That's awesome.
For anyone who is
tough.
with their family this Thanksgiving, hopefully soon.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people I've heard of that have said, like, I haven't seen my family in a year and a half, 2 years, or something like that. So yeah, the only thing I have to say, I put on the ticker on the bottom, is if you are already off and you're traveling, be safe. If you have time with family, with friends, make time to recharge. I know educators have been looking forward to a break, although a lot of educators use break to catch up on all things. So whatever it is that makes you happy, I guess that's what you should do, but make sure that you have time for yourself. And we will not see you until December, which feels really weird to say, but we're off this Friday and next Monday just because of the holiday break. And we'll be back on December 3rd. I'll be joining in from a special location. Melody will be back joining me, and we have our special guests. So
Wonderful.
Allyson,
thank you
so much. Yeah. And Lainie?
Thank you. I'm so glad Melody's back. She's way funnier.
Oh, no.
Than me, obviously. Thank you for letting me join. It felt so nice to meet you, Allyson.
So nice to meet you too. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you. And everybody, we will see you next time. Have a great one.